Hey everyone, and welcome to Isms by Josie. Today I'm going to be continuing doing the Mandalorian from the Disney Crochet Kit. For my returning subscribers, thank you so much for tuning in, and for my new viewers, please consider subscribing, share, hit that like button, leave a comment below, and click on that notification bell for future videos. So today, you guys, we're going to be completing the Mandalorian. We did the head and the body. This was the first project ever where I had to switch back and forth between colors, and it looks like that it might not be over. We're still going to be switching crazy colors. I love the TV show. I think it's great, but I'm really cringing at this book. Probably more than The Nightmare Before Christmas, to be honest. But anyway. So let's finish this. Anytime we have two pieces, I'm going to be doing the second piece off camera. Hopefully I'll be able to complete the arms, the shoulders, the helmet, shoulder strap, cloak, and be able to sew it all together and finish this. Okay, so let's get right into it. Anytime there's a new stitch, every video I will repeat step by step 3 times, and then thereafter I'll do my normal speed, and then of course I'm going to walk through each set of instructions with you so that you'll be able to follow along with me. If you need to speed up or slow down the video, click on the gear button in the corner. There's playback options to go fast or slow. If you don't need to hear myself talking because I am nasally right now, I'm fighting a cold, you can lower the volume on your device and then click on the CC closed caption button. Alright, let's get into this. So we're going to be doing the arms, and we're going to start using the yellow yarn. I'll try to remember to read ahead, but as you know, if you've seen my videos, I really have the worst memory. If we have to switch a color, I can't finish a row. I have to stop before the last stitch because I got to show how to switch the colors. So I'm going to try my best to remember that. If not, I'm going to try my best to edit it out. If I can't edit it out, then unfortunately you're going to see me be like, oh, sorry guys, I just have to undo a stitch. But anyway. Okay, so for the first round, we're going to chain 2, and we're going to work 6 single crochet stitches into the first chain and make 6 stitches all together. So we're not doing any fancy adjustable rings, but I want to show you how to cast onto your hook using the slip knot. We're going to do a ring finger, pinky, pinch with the thumb down at the end, and then we're going to use our index and middle finger to hold a bit apart of this yellow yarn. You're going to take the hook that they've provided for you. All this information is stated in the part 1 video or the unboxing. You can go back to my crochet playlist and check that out. But we're going to hold the hook perpendicular to the yarn, and you're going to go down, out, and around to make a loop, and you'll be able to slide it back and forth easily like this. We're going to slide it down towards the thumb. Take your middle finger on your right hand and just pinch where it crosses so you can let go of your left hand. We're going to wind up some yarn around your finger. Pinch the end again with your thumb and your middle finger down here. And we're going to slide our hook further down towards our thumb, and where it crosses, you just want to pinch it with your middle and thumb like this so that you can no longer slide your hook up and down. You're stabilizing your hook. We're going to do a yarn over, so we're going to put this yarn over the hook like that. Then we're going to pull this yarn into this loop like this. Okay, this yarn isn't the best. It's worsted weight, I think it's called. And so it's easy to split the yarn. You want to make sure that you don't split the yarn. There's one piece of thread, I don't know if you could see here, that you just want to make sure you clear. Okay. Alright, so now I'm going to overhand my hook. I'm going to repinch the end. I'm going to take this knot and push it towards my left thumb. And you want to push it down till at least it hits your thumb, or till the knot becomes too tight for you to move anymore. Once you get to that point, then we can take this thumb and middle finger and just pull out the little bit just to make the knot more snug. You don't want to pull it too tight. You just want to make sure you make that knot nice and snug. I'm going to take the knot and we're going to pull it up towards the hook like this, and we're going to leave a bit because we got to do our first round. So for the first round, we have to chain 2. Okay, so we're going to yarn over. This is going to be the basic step in crochet, or basic stitch. You want to yarn over like this, and we're going to pull this yarn through this loop like that. So you have 1 chain. We're going to do it again because we have to do 2. So yarn over and pull this strand through this loop, and now we have 2 chains. Okay, you can see by the braiding, here's 1, here's 2. Flip it on its side, you can see the back humps. There's 1, there's 2. Okay, so then we're going to work 6 single crochet stitches into the first chain. So what I'm going to do, actually, you have these braids here. Here's 1 braid. It comprises of the left loop, the right loop. Here's another braid. We have a left loop, a right loop. And like I said, you turn it to its side and you can see the humps a little bit. Here's the back hump of 1 and the back hump of this one. I'm going to stick my hook into the hump. I like just doing that. It's easier for me and it looks better. So stick your hook into that hump. We're gonna do we're gonna do a single crochet stitch. So I'm gonna try to tuck away this excess piece. I'm gonna crochet it into our stitching. So what we're gonna do is, you want to yarn over. We're gonna start our single crochet stitch. So you want to yarn over like that. We're gonna pull this strand through this stitch like that. So you should have 2 loops onto your hook. We're going to yarn over again, and you're going to pull that strand through these 2 loops. And once you've completed that, we have 1 single crochet stitch. Here's the braid. There's one side of the little braid, the other side of the braid. Okay, so now we just have to stick our hook back into that same stitch. Alright, it's going to be a little tight, but that's okay. We have to do this 5 more times. So yarn over, pull the strand through this stitch. Okay, so you have 2 loops on your hook. We're going to yarn over and you're going to pull this strand through these 2 loops. So now we have 2 single crochet stitches and we just have to do 3 more. So stick your hook into the same stitch. It is again going to be a little tight in there. Yarn over, pull up a loop, and you have 2 loops now. Yarn over and pull through these 2 loops. So now we have 3 single crochet stitches. We just have to do 2 more. So into the same stitch, do 2 more single crochet stitches. 1. And before I complete this, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, wait, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we need 6 altogether. I lost count there a little bit. Alright, so we are doing our 5th one. Before we complete our 6th one, because it does say that we're going to change to black. I remembered this time. So before we complete our 6th single crochet stitch, we have to prepare our black yarn. So what I want you to do is pull out your hook and make this loop really long so that you don't lose the loop. That's all you're really doing, is why we're doing this. Alright, so then we're gonna go grab sorry again, I'm fighting a cold here. Alright, so we're going to grab our black yarn and we're going to do the same cast on with the slip knot with the black yarn. So we're going to take our ring and pinky and thumb, hold one end, use the index and ring finger and hold apart the yarn. You're going to take your hook and lie it perpendicular to the yarn and go down, out, and around, so we can slide this hook up and down. Slide it down towards the thumb. Take your middle finger on your right hand and hold it where it crosses so that you can let go of your left. We're going to gather up some yarn here. Repinch the end and slide your hook down towards your thumb again, and where it crosses you just want to pinch it with your middle finger and thumb so that it's stabilized and your hook can no longer slide up and down. We're going to yarn over and pull through the loop, and then I'm going to overhand my hook. We're going to repinch the end. I'm going to slide this knot towards this thumb. Slide it until you can't anymore. And then what we're going to do is take with our thumb and middle finger this end and pull it out to make the knot snug. And take the knot and slide it towards the hook. Like that. So now that we have that, we can slip this off of our hook. Set this aside for now. We're going to go back and pick up our project. You can put your hook back into that loop and tighten it back up. So we're going to complete our last single crochet stitch. So stick your hook into the same stitch that we've been using, yarn over, pull up a loop. So we have 2 loops now. So instead of using the yellow, you want to set this aside. You want to grab the black. Okay. I'm going to put some yarn around my finger. We're going to pull this, the black yarn through the 2 loops here. So let's do that. And now we've changed to black. We've completed this. You want to take your marker and we're going to mark the last stitch we made, which is this yellow piece here. Close it off. And then we're going to do round 2. So for round 2, we got to do a single crochet stitch in each round and end up with 6 stitches. I'm going to change to mid brown yarn. So I got to remind myself again to stop at the 5th stitch, and then we're going to do the same slip knot with the brown yarn. Alright, so single crochet stitch in the next stitch. Let's just count back. It's really tight right now, so I'm going to count back 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to put the hook into the 6th stitch. Alright, so I'm going to yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Alright, let me just, you know what, I don't want to make sure that we're no longer using the yellow, because I'm gonna cut this off. So let me just, because I can't handle, if you don't need to handle more than one color yarn than you have to, then you want to remove it. So this one's brown, gray. Right, yes, so we're not going to deal with yellow anymore. I'm going to cut this off. And you don't need much. You can just like maybe do an inch or so. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to tie it around my black yarn just so that I don't lose any stitches. I mean, I don't think it would happen, but just to make sure. I'm just going to loosely double knot this. Can leave this hanging. We're going to tuck it in later, so set my yellow aside. Alright, so let's get back to doing, we did 1, we're going to do 5 to begin with, and then we're going to complete the 6 after we fix the dark brown or mid brown. So into the next stitch we're going to do a single crochet stitch. So now we have 2. Into the next stitch we're going to do a single crochet stitch, and now we have 3, and I'm just going to do this 2 more times before we stop. 1, 2, okay, now the same thing that we did before, pull out this hook and make a huge loop so that we don't lose the stitch by accident. You never know what could happen. Okay, then I'm going to pull out the mid brown yarn. Okay, so I believe this one is mid brown. I hope it is. out of the colors that we have here. But we're going to do the same thing that we did before. And I'll show you this one more time because will be the third time we're casting on with the slip knot. Ring finger, pinky, and thumb hold the end here. Then index and middle finger hold it apart. Take your hook, lie it perpendicular to the yarn. We're going to go down, out, and around so that we can slide it up and down. Take your middle finger and place it where it crosses. We're going to let go of the left, gather up some yarn around your finger, repinch the end here. We're going to slide the hook down towards the thumb, and where it crosses you just want to pinch it with your middle finger so that you stabilize your hook. We're going to yarn over and you're going to pull up a loop like that, then overhand your hook, repinch the end here, and we're going to slide this knot towards your thumb. Slide it down until you hit your thumb or until the knot gets too tight. Alright, and then once you get there, you're going to pull this end piece out just a little bit more to make it a little bit more snug. Then we're going to take our knot and slide it towards the hook. Right, you want to leave some space here because we're going to do some stitching. We're going to remove the hook. Set this aside. Pick up your project again, put your hook back into that large loop and then tighten it up, and then we're going to complete our last single crochet stitch for this round. Stick your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. We're going to set the black aside, and then we're going to slip on our mid brown, and we're going to pull the mid brown through these two loops. So we've changed to mid brown. Let's replace our marker to the last stitch we made. Okay. And then we can continue on to the next round. Since we already know we're not going to use black again, I'm going to cut this. Make sure it's like an inch or so. We are going to tie the black and the yellow together 2 times loosely. Okay, so now for round 3 in brackets, we have 2 single crochet stitches in the next stitch, single crochet stitches in the next 2 stitches 2 times, and end up with 8 stitches. Okay, no changing of colors, that's great. Okay, so let's do 2 single crochet stitches into the next stitch. Let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. Into the next stitch, we're going to do 2 single crochet stitches. 1, 2. Then we're going to do single crochet stitch in the next 2 stitches. 1 and 2. And then we're just going to repeat this one more time. So into the next stitch, 2 single crochet stitches, 1, 2, and then a single crochet stitch in the next 2 stitches, 1 and 2. Okay, so now what we're going to do, remove the marker, replace it to the last stitch we made, and the project, as you know, is starting to look a little funky. It's curling into itself. This is actually the wrong side of your project. You want to flip this, you want to invert it, push it inside out so that we can hide all these extra little strays. that, and then we can continue on our merry way. So for round 4 through 5, so for the next 2 rounds, we're going to single crochet stitch in each stitch around 8 stitches all together, and then we're going to change to dark gray yarn. So I got to remember that on the second round to do 7 stitches before I complete the last one, so I can switch to gray. Alright, so 8 single crochet stitches. Make sure you clear the yarn. I'm doing this, I already poked through it and split the yarn. 1, 2, 3. See how easy it is to split. 3, 4, 5. I definitely split the yarn there. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, replace the marker to the last stitch that you made, and this is, again, this is like worsted weight yarn, and I don't know, it might be a little too quiet, maybe not enough quiet, but like you can hear it crunching, and when you hear snaps, it's because I split the yarn. Alright, so one more time, we're going to do 7 single crochet stitches, stop, and then we have to take the gray yarn, the dark gray yarn out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, we're here. You want to pull out the loop again, we did before, so you don't lose the stitch. Set this aside. Let's go grab our dark gray, and this is our dark gray here. Okay, and since I've already done this 3 times, you can always go back. I'm just going to do this quickly because we have a lot of body parts to go. There's so many ways that you can do this. Feel this way is the easiest for me to explain. I'm not a teacher. You know, I'm just an enthusiast, so I try to help out the best way that I can. I know that there are other ways of doing things, so feel free to do it the way that you know how if you already know how to do it. Alright, slip this off. Let's take back our project, tighten up that loop. Alright, we're going to complete our last single crochet stitch. Alright. Slip that through, replace the marker, okay, and then we know that we're not going to be switching to any other color. We're going to cut this off, and I'm going to tie it around the gray 2 times, a little bit loose. And I'm going to tuck this end piece inside the project. Try not to crochet into it. Okay. Then I'm going to take more gray. I'm going to put around my finger. Oh, this is where it's going to get. I really do not enjoy how they put this. Look at this. This is just horrible. Not a fan. You can get these, there's a lot of these tools now that you can get to make life easier, but I'm not about spending a lot of money on things. So, anyway, alright. Change to dark gray. We're going to do rounds 6 through 9. Okay, so I'm going to need more markers now because I don't have the attention span to count all that. So if this is 6, you want 7, 8, 9. Okay, so we have our markers. You don't have to count them. As long as you use them all up, you know that you're doing all the 4 rounds. And we're going to do a single crochet stitch in each stitch all the way around and end up with 8 stitches. So let's do that now. I guess I can do this in silence actually. Alright, so we're in round 10 now. In brackets, we've got to do single crochet 2 together, single crochet stitch in the next 2 stitches. Repeat it 2 times and end up with 6 stitches. I am fighting with this yarn right now. Hold on. Comment below. Let me know if your struggle is real. Or click that like if your struggle is real. Alright, so single crochet 2 together is pretty much what it's saying. So we're going to take 2 single crochet stitches and stitch it together to make 1 stitch. So we are going to be doing 2. I'll show you this 3 times. So into the next stitch you put in your hook, we're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. Then we're going to go into the next stitch over, put in your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop. You should have 3 loops onto your hook now. We're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. So taking 2 single crochet stitches and turning it into 1. Then we're going to do a single crochet stitch in the next 2 stitches. So into the next stitch, do a single crochet stitch, into the next stitch, do a single crochet stitch. Now we just have to repeat this 1 more time. So single crochet 2 together, into the next stitch, put in your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. You should have 3 loops onto your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops, and we've made 2 single crochet stitches into 1. Alright, then we're going to do 2 single crochet stitches, 1 and 2. Okay, so for the next, I want to remove the marker. This is our last round, so you don't need to replace the marker into the new stitch. But what we're going to do is a slip stitch in the next stitch. Front loop only, leaving, or fasten off, leaving the length of yarn. Sew the arms to the body. Okay, so put your hook into the next stitch. All right, we're going to yarn over. This is a slip stitch. Yarn over and pull through all the loops off your hook. That was a slip stitch. So then it says leaving a length of yarn to sew to the body. So I don't know, 5, 6, 7 inches, who knows. Cut it off, right? To fasten off, you just yarn over. We're gonna pull this through the loop and all the way out. Tighten this up, and then we've completed our first arm. So what I'm gonna do, guys, I'm gonna do the second arm off camera, and we're gonna come back to sew the arm to the body. Alright, so I've already made both arms. I sewed one of them on. We're going to sew the other one. This one's a little disappointing. I feel like in the Nightmare Before Christmas kit, it did kind of tell you where to sew it. I don't know if that's just how the writers do it, because the kits are from the same company. But so we're just gonna guess. I just took a look at the photo, and unfortunately it looks like the shoulder pads are kind of covering where to sew it, so it looks like the shoulder pads are coming just under the chin area. This looks like a, you know, I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to put this in the middle of this collar here because I'm going to end up putting the shoulder pads, I guess, over it. So what I did was I'm just, you know, guessing. And I'm trying to find, I guess, the middle of the side. So that's how I'm pretty much attaching it on here. And then I flatten the tops and I'm lining it with the stitches. So you're gonna put it, you know, where the stitches kind of line up together. So, and again, I'm not a sewer. I say it in all my videos. If you have a better way of putting these things together, then by all means do it your way. I'm just guessing about here, really. So I'm doing one end of the arm, and then I'm going to come back up on the other side so I can do the other half of the arm. I don't know what I'm saying. And this is your first go. This is my first go at Mandalorian, so you can always do it again and make things different to where you can fix things if you see them. Like, I feel like maybe my arm placement wasn't the best. You know, that's all you can really do. Okay. I'm just putting my hook just under the surface. Oh, and you can't even see that. Ugh. Yeah, I had to focus that. That got a lot blurry. I don't even know how much blurry that it went. But I'm going just under the surface, and I'm going to pull the tail. Oops, I slipped out. Pull the tail underneath the body until that tail is gone, and then remove the hook. Try not to pull out the fiber fill, the stuffing, and then we have our arms. Okay, so now we are going to go back. We have the left shoulder armor to do, so we're going to use the mid-brown yarn here. This is my clump of mid-brown yarn. Hopefully yours is not as bad as mine, but we're gonna try to work through it. Alright, so for row 1, we're gonna chain 2, work 4 single crochet stitches into the first stitch, work over initial tail of the yarn and pull it tight at the end of the row to close the hole. Wow. Chain 1, turn, work over initial tail of the yarn and pull it tight to the end of the row to close the hole. Ay caramba. Alright. So we're going to cast on like we normally do. This sounds like it wants to be an adjustable ring. They should have just done that, to be quite honest with you. Like, why? Alright. Alright, we're going to chain 2. 1, 2. Then we're going to work 4 single crochet stitches into the first stitch. Again, here's the braiding of the stitch. You turn it on its side. You have your humps here. I'm going to stick it into this back hump. Right there. Okay. And then, oh, and there's a tail. Oh my lord. We're just going to fake this clump. Let's see what happens, because I don't have a tail. Alright, so do 1 single crochet stitch, do 2, 3 and 4. Okay. If you had a tail, you just pull it closed, but I think this is pretty closed enough. Chain 1, we're gonna turn. So we chained 1. Turning is just flipping to the back side now. Alright, we're gonna work over initial tail yarn and pull it tight at the end of the row. Yikes. We'll see. I think that's what it's gonna make us do. I feel like I should have a tail now. Let's see if I don't need to. Let's find out. Okay, we're gonna do a single crochet stitch in the next stitch. Alright, so into that first stitch there, we're gonna do a single crochet stitch. Then we're gonna do 2 single crochet stitches in each of the next 2 stitches. So into the next stitch, we're gonna do 1 single crochet stitch. You're gonna go back into that same stitch we just used, and we're gonna do another single crochet stitch. One more time with you guys. Into the next stitch, we're gonna do 2 single crochet stitches. So single crochet stitch, go back into that same stitch and do another single crochet stitch. Okay, then single crochet stitch in the next stitch. So into the next stitch, do a single crochet stitch, and then we're going to fasten off, leaving length of yarn. So you could use the tail, but this hole is really, it's really to diminish this hole, and it's not that bad. So I don't think it's that big of a deal, but we're gonna fasten it off like that, and you have your first shoulder pad. Okay, so now we're gonna do the right shoulder armor, starting with blue yarn we've got here. I'm gonna cast this on like we've done previously. Okay, start this off. And then again, I don't think you need to worry too much about closing the hole, because if you do nice stitches, it's not going to be a big hole you're working with. But we're going to chain 2. Then we're going to do 4 single crochet stitches into the first stitch. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now it says we're going to chain 1 and turn, so we've got to change to beige yarn before we get to that second row. So again, I'm just going to pull this out. I'm going to take out my beige yarn. Yeah, I don't know. Let me just find the end here, you guys. I lost the end. What the heck is it? Right, I found the end. I just gotta untangle all of it. Okay. Alright, we're gonna do the slip knot like we did before. Now we're back to, that blue was really soft. Now we're back to worsted weight yarn here. Okay, so set that up, take this off of your hook. We're gonna go back into our project. Alright, so we're gonna do our chain 1. We're gonna chain it with this beige. So So pull that through the loop and we're going to turn. I am going to cut off this blue because we won't be using it anymore. I'm going to tie it loosely a couple times around the beige. 1, 2, and you can cut this short if you want. Okay, but I'm going to turn this now, and we're going to do the next round, which is a single crochet stitch in the next stitch. So try to see through all that knots, and let's do a single crochet stitch. Then I'm going to do 2 single crochet stitches in the next 2 stitches. So into the next stitch we're going to do 2 single crochet stitches, 1, 2. Into the next stitch, do 2 single crochet stitches. I'll make sure you clear both loops on that stitch there. Okay, 2 single crochet stitches, 1, 2, and then we're going to do a single crochet stitch in the last stitch. Okay, so now we are going to fasten off. Okay, and leave some yarn to sew. Tighten this up. Thread your needle here. I'm going to start sewing these shoulder pads on. Okay. So you want to be able to show, hide that knot that we made. We're going to put it in the back. So just pick the right side you want to use. And we're going to sew the straight end along the scarf. But I want the end pieces to go around the arm. So where the arm is attached, because I want that shoulder pad to curve around the arm. So we're just going to start down here, and then we're going to jump up to that edge of the scarf there. Okay. Three. I'm going to go back down into that lower part of the arm. So it wraps around the shoulder like that. You see that? So then I'm just going to find a moment underneath the armpit here, and we're just going to make a knot. The best way I can find to hide your knots. And cutting this off, going to slip this just under the surface, come back up where right next to that excess piece, yarn over, and then drag it down into the body there. If you can't pull it out without pulling the fiber, you can push it through the other side like that. So now we have our first shoulder pad. I mean, this is a little tiny shoulder pad. But anyway, we're going to do the same thing to the other side. Okay, so again, I'm going to go around the arm, the stitch that we used to attach the arm. Okay. Then we're going to jump back up to sew the shoulder pad. Okay, and then for the last one, we'll go back down. Well, we use, sew down the other arm, the other side of the arm, sorry. Okay, and we're going to take this opportunity underneath the armpit to find a place to tie a knot. Okay. And go just under the surface, come up where the excess piece is, yarn over. I'm going to drag this into the body, push through the other side if you can't pull it out, and there we have our tiny little shoulder pads. I feel like there should have been one more row, but that's what they did. Alright, so helmet side sections, we're going to make 2 of these. So the sections on either side of the helmet are made separately and sewn on. Use the light gray yarn, so I'm going to pull out the light gray yarn, which is this. And we are going to chain 6. Alright, so let's fasten the, let's slip knot the gray onto our hook. Okay, we're going to chain 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so we have our 6 chains. We're gonna skip the chain next to the hook, so we're skipping 1, and we're gonna do 5 single crochet stitches in the next 5 chains. So I talk about this a lot. I'm going to talk about it again. This braid is really pretty and I hate having to ruin it. So the way that you normally would do it, you would stick your hook into half of this braid and it splits it up. I like to, again, turn it on its side, and you see like there's these back humps. I know it might be difficult at times, but I like to use the back humps instead. So we're going to skip a stitch, and to do our first single crochet stitch, you're going to go into that second chain from the hook. Again, I'm going to put it in the back hump here. And one way to check is that you have one loop on this side. When you turn it upside down, you have it through two loops, or that braid on the other side. So let's do our single crochet stitch. Alright, so we've got 1, and we're going to do this 4 more times. So stick your hook into that side profile there, just under the hump of the next stitch. So again, you'll have the one loop on one side, you turn it under, and you have it just under that braid with the 2 loops on the other side. And we're going to do a single crochet stitch. So we have 2. One more time with you guys, into the next stitch, put it into the back loop here. Make sure you clear the yarn. But you should have one loop on your hook on one side, you flip it under, and you should have a braid on the other side. It's 2 loops. Alright, let's do our single crochet stitch. So now we have 3 single crochet stitches. I'm going to do this 2 more times. 1 and 2, and I'm going to show you why I do this. Okay, so after you complete your 5 single crochet stitches, so when you look at your braid, your stitches on top, you have the regular braids that you would for every stitch. If you flip it underside, you have your braid still intact, so it's still nice. And in this case, it actually is exposed in the helmet, so now it's gonna look nice on either side. If you did it normal and you stuck it on the top loops of the braid would be gone. So you can kind of notice that when you see this. Anyway, so after we do our 5 stitches, we got to fasten off and leave a length of yarn so we can sew this on. So to fasten off, just do a yarn over. We're going to pull that through the loop all the way out, tighten up the stitch so we make a nice knot, right? And we're going to sew onto the sides of the helmet. Alright, so I'm doing one. I'm going to do the other one off camera. You could just rewind this and then I'll be back to sew in the sides. Alright, I have 2 of these. I sewn one of them on. I'm going to do the other one. So we are going to thread up the other side of this helmet here. And I just looked at the photo. I mean, I really don't know. And it's been a while since I've seen Mandalorian. Because that show ended a while ago. But anyway, so I'm going to try to copy what I did here. So I'm just going to sew this up. Just don't know where to sew this up. Let's see. Okay. And I'm just using the back side of this piece that we just made. So, I'm not sewing this side. I don't know, just so you could see it. Okay, then I'm going to find a spot to tie a knot. I'm going to cut this piece. I'm going to come up just under the surface right next to, I think I got some fiber fill here. Alright, just where the excess piece, and we're going to drag it inside. Right, so we have the sides of his head, we have the arms, shoulder pads. We're gonna do the shoulder strap next, and we're gonna use a dark brown yarn. We are well under our way. I don't know how long this video is right now, but we are almost done, you guys. Home stretch, comment below, let me know what you think. I do notice that the colors are different from the photo, so I'm not really enjoying that, but you know, whatever they tell us to do. So using the dark brown yarn, we're going to chain 15. So I'm going to cast on like we've done. It seems like this is no adjustable rings here. We're just doing a regular cast on with a slip knot. Okay, and we're going to do 15 chain stitches, and I'm not hating that. That's like the basic stitch of crocheting, so we should have no problem with this. We're going to do 15 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and as you get the length of this to get longer, it's going to be hard to hold it down here, Feel free to move up your grip from down here to up further if you want. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And do that as many times as you need. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So you always want to be able to have a good amount of distance, but any further and it's going to be really hard to control. So let's see. All right, and then we're going to fasten off. That one was easy. All right, so fasten off. Then we're going to sew in place over left shoulder. All right, let me get this needle. Thread up your needle. Okay, sew in place left shoulder with each end secure at the belt on the right hand side. So left, it's going to go over this way, but let's look at the photo to make sure. What? Sew in place over left shoulder with each end secured on belt on right hand side. All right, you guys, you see this? That's clearly the right shoulder, not the left. Just can't with this. But we're just gonna do the left shoulder because that's what it says. This must have been mirrored. But we're having this the strap over like this. Oh, and I feel like it needs to be more than 15. Unless it just goes down one side. Let's see. Using the brown plate, sew in place over left shoulder with each end secure to the belt on the right hand side. It's a strap. This isn't long enough, right? Look how much more. All right, so what we're gonna do, we can't. It is what it is. All right, so we have the 15. I'm just gonna go over like this and we are going to sew it just as it is. I already cut the piece. I mean, do I have space? All right, let's see. Maybe if I add 5 more, but you see what I'm saying here? Comment below, let me know if you agree. If the 15 isn't big enough. I think they were banking on you to make like loose stitches. So that's the other thing too. I mean, it's really hard sometimes with these instructions because everybody's gonna do their stitches different. You all know I do my own thing even so. But I'm gonna add 5 more stitches to this, make it 20. It might barely just make it, but the way that I did it, it's already too tight. 5, 10, 15. I took one out by accident, so let's put that back. I just unraveled it. If you don't have that opportunity, if you pulled it too tight, I mean, I'm not gonna be hating if you just, you know, sew it together with the single strand like I was gonna do, but I think because this is long enough, I'm gonna try to do 5 more stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I think I have enough to sew. So again, if you don't have that ability, then you know, just sew it how it is. But yeah, it wants us to sew it at the right side of the belt. We've got to pull this over the left shoulder. All right, see, it's not even, it's almost making it. But we're gonna secure this to the right side of the belt. Down here. All right, let's just take this and sew it on there. And I'm gonna use the back loops to do that. Right, and I'm going to go around twice so I can make my knot. Cut this off. Right, drag it down into the body. Okay. Alright, so we have our little strap getting there, and the head is always going to turn that way because I sewed it on so crooked, but anyway. Alright, and then we got to do the cloak, which is a dark gray yarn. So get my lovely wad of gray yarn that I'm going to have to untangle. And then we're gonna get back into these instructions. Just give me a minute and I'm gonna untangle this yarn here. Alright, so I'm gonna cast on. Alright, like we've done before. This is the last bit. I'm getting a little antsy. You might notice I'm picking this up a little faster because I cannot wait for this thing to be done. Alright, we're going to chain 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Right, so we have 11. Skip the next skip the chain next to the hook and single crochet stitch in the next 10 stitches, chain 1 and turn. So like we did before, I'm going to skip that first chain. We're going to do the second one, but I like to go on to the side and put it into the back hump here. So I'm going to do 10 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Yikes, the last one is going to be hard. 10, right? Alright, so again we have nice braid on top, nice braid on the bottom. Alright, so now we're going to chain 1 and turn. And what it says to do next is single crochet stitch in the next 4 stitches. Let's do that. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to do a half double crochet stitch. So let me show you what that's like. We're going to do that in the next 3 stitches. So you want to do a yarn over. You want to put your hook into the next stitch. We're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. So now you have 3 loops onto your hook. Then we're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. That's a half double crochet stitch. So yarn over again, into the next stitch, put in your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop. You'll have 3 loops. Yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. One more time. Yarn over, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Alright, so in the next stitches, and then we're going to do a double crochet stitch in the next 3 stitches. So yarn over into the next stitch, we're going to yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. Okay, let's do this again, you guys. Yarn over into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. One more time, yarn over into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Alright, so then after that we're going to chain 1 and we're going to turn. Okay, so now for row 3 we're going to do a single crochet stitch in the next 10 stitches, chain 1 and turn. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, and then we chain 1 and turn. Alright, so now for rows 4 through 7. Alright, let me just try to detangle my yarn again. Okay, so for the next, how many rows? 4 rows, so let's put a hook at the last stitch we made. So this is going to be row 4 we're going to do next. 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, so we chained 1. We're gonna we're gonna work rows 2 and 3 2 times, leave out the last chain stitch and fasten off. It's gonna be fun. Alright, turn. So we're in row 2. We're gonna do 4 single crochet stitches in each of the next 4, well, a single crochet stitch in the next 4 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, then we're going to do a half double crochet stitch in the next 3 stitches. So 1, 2, and 3. Then we're going to do a double crochet stitch in the next 3 stitches. So 1, 2, and 3. And I'm going to mark off the last stitch. Then we're going to chain 1 and turn. Let me detangle this yarn here. Okay, so then we're going to do row 3 and we're going to do a single crochet stitch in the next 10 stitches, chain 1 and turn. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10. We're going to mark the last stitch, chain 1 and turn, and we're going to go back to round 2. So we're going to do a single crochet stitch in the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then we're going to do 3 half double crochet stitches. 1, 2, and 3, and then we're going to do 3 double crochet stitches. 1, 2, and 3. Right, I'm going to mark the last stitch, chain 1 and turn. So now we're going to do row 3, and it's 10 single crochet stitches, and we're not going to do the chain 1 this time. So 10 single crochet stitches, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And we have no markers left because we completed all the rows. We're not going to do the chain 1 this time, and we're going to fasten off, leaving a length of yarn. So let's do that now. Okay, fasten this off. And we're going to remove the markers. Alright, so we're going to take that yarn through the cloak to narrower. I hate with these words sometimes. To narrower top. The narrower. Oh man, yeah, I'm done. Alright. Take that yarn through the cloak to the narrower top and sew at the back of the neck between the shoulder between the shoulder armor, and then weave loose ends. So take that yarn through the cloak. Alright, well, we're just gonna sew this to the ends and here, and also I feel like his cloak is much longer in the show. But anyway, we're gonna take this and we're gonna sew this in between the shoulder armors, and since it's kind of longer, we're gonna shorten this up. Maybe it'll help if I let's weave, because it says take it through the top, narrower to the narrower side. Right? What if I do this? I just weaved it in and out to make so I can pull it a little bit tighter, right? And that'll make it easier for me to fit this between the shoulder armors. And then I guess you can choose if you want to put this under. It would be over the strap, so we'll do that. So now all you gotta do is sew this on. But yeah, this is such a tiny cloak. You could definitely make it longer. Okay, and then we're just going to go on the other side and tie our knot. Okay, grab the hook, put it just under the surface of the body, come up where the excess piece is, and then we're going to yarn over and pull that into the body, push the hook out, and we have our little Mando. Oh well, what can you do? Alright, you guys, we just finished this. Wonderful, wonderful. There's our Mando right here. We have different colors for this, but you know, whatever. Comment below, let me know how you like this. Here's a little guy, here's the big guy. Not too shabby. But that is that. Okay. So thank you so much, you guys, for watching. I know this has been a minute, but I'm definitely have a lot on my plate and I'm recovering from this cold, but I appreciate you joining in. I hope this video was able to help you guys complete your Mando. Comment below, let me know what you think. Anyways, thank you so much, you guys, for watching. This is Isms by Josie. Please share, like, and subscribe for future videos, and I'll see you again next time. Thanks. Bye.